All right, we'll get started again. Pete assured me that his talk is shorter, so he's going to get us back on schedule. So we'll try not to be off too much. But Pete was one of the first guys I went to ask if Thermo would come out and talk. One of our vendors would come out and talk to us. And I think Pete was the second guy I talked to. Diana happened to be in my office when we were having this initial discussion from Rockwell. And so she was all excited about doing it. And I think Pete was the first call I made, or the first email that I sent out to ask Thermo to come out and do talks. So Thermo and Pete Pepe, so that you're aware, and Pete might talk about this, we're known as a value-added reseller, or a VAR. And Pete's in charge of all the VARs in the country. Mm-hmm. So he represents all the CEMS companies, basically, that are out there. The Semtex and Spectrums and ESPC Spectrum, MSI. For those of you that don't know, CiSCO has a sister company. My partners and I own another company in Wisconsin. It's called Mechanical Systems Inc., MSI. Their specialty is in dilution CEMS. They do mainly coal units and industrial boilers and things like that. They do gas-fired units as well and some other things. But they're doing a huge gas project down in Tennessee Valley Authority right now. They have a big project. I think there's 60 analyzers in that one, and 40 analyzers in another retrofit that they're doing. So they just ordered 100 analyzers from Pete. So
they had a great August.
Yeah, that was a big one. But we own MSI as well up in Wisconsin, and but they're dilution systems almost exclusively up there. But Pete Pepe from Thermo Fisher Scientific.
Is this?
That's all. Oh, you don't need
which
that.
one? Okay. Oh. Good morning. I have, as I was telling Walt, I have some big shoes to fill, following the professionalism of the girls at Rockwell, and then Walt up here making it look real easy. So I'm pretty good in front of 3 or 4 people, but when I get in a group of 40, it's a little different. So do the best I can. But as Walt said, I'm Pete Pepe, Senior Channel Manager of Value-Added Resellers, which is basically integrators around the country. And as he said, I'm in charge of basically the 12 largest in the country. CiSCO being one of them, MSI, as he mentioned, Semtech, ESC, and a couple of others. A little background on myself. I've been in sales for over 30 years. I've been with Thermo for the last 19, which has really been a treat. My first 12 years, I was a regional sales manager and then national sales manager for our industrial hygiene products. Then I was put into our gas analyzer group and spent 4 years as a regional sales manager. And now I actually worn 2 hats for the last couple of years. I was a regional sales manager in the Northeast, and then I have the last couple of years dealing with the value-added resellers, as Walt mentioned. So I'm wearing 2 hats. That will change at the end of the year, and I will be strictly with the VARs and no more direct sales. So I'll get to spend a lot more time with the CiSCOs of the world. So looking forward to that. Our group, Thermo Fisher, is a huge corporation, but I'm in the environmental and process monitoring group. We design and manufacture all types of products for gas and particulate pollutants. We do flow, level, and density measurements, as well as process analytical measurements. Just a little note there, we've proven to help customers improve efficiency, ensure your process and quality control, and maintain your regulatory compliance, and also worker safety. And just some of the industries that we play in. Power being one, regulatory agencies. I know the gentleman from the EPA, I believe he's gone. We do a lot in the ambient world also with the state agencies. Mining, pulp and paper, chemical, cement, petrochem. They're all areas that we play in. And as Walt said also, I'm gonna be short on this. I won't be talking for hours like some others in the past, but we'll make sure we can catch up, get on schedule again. And again, here's some of the markets that we play in. This is just a little history of the series of analyzers that we've gone over. You can see right here, we started back in, I really can't find anybody who's left with the company who can tell me exactly when we started, but it was sometime in the mid 70s. We started with what we call a pre-series, and these were NOx analyzers, CO analyzers that weren't designated with any type of letter or number. It was just a 42 or a 43. Then we switched over back in 92 to the C series, which was discontinued in 07. And Walt can probably tell you, and some of the other guys here from CiSCO can probably tell you, there's still C series units being used out there. They've been discontinued completely, meaning we don't service them, we don't provide spare parts, we don't do anything for them, probably since 2015, 2016, and people are still running them. They're just bulletproof, and they don't want to get rid of them. And what happens is when a plant, unfortunately, when some of these coal plants have shut down, they send the units to a sister company and they cannibalize them for spares to keep it running because they don't have the budget money, actually, which is what I find these days, to buy new analyzers. And they're very happy with the C series. Oops. And we came out with the I series back in 05. And presently, this unit is now obsolete. I mentioned it yesterday in somebody else's talk, and they asked me a question. The I series for the instrumentation is obsolete. We do not sell any more I series analyzers, but we will continue to provide spare parts and service until 2025, December of 2025. So there's another 3 or 4 years of service and spares for the I series units. We came out with the IQ, which is what we're running now, back in late 17, early 18. And that's the units that we've been running now. Same form, fit, and function as many of the others, but we've come out with a touch screen, make it more user-friendly. We have USB ports on it, so you can upload firmware changes and things of that nature very easily. The major change in this unit is that it's all DC. The internals are all DC. So I think Doug yesterday from API was mentioning similar aspects to his units, which are very similar, but DCs will allow it to run a little smoother, a little cooler, hopefully not as much vibration. And again, here's just some of the, can't think of the word, the science that's used in monitoring for the NOx analyzers and the SO2, etc. Again, here's an up close. I have a unit out there. I had a unit out on the table yesterday. If anybody wants to see it, I have it in the hallway. I didn't set it up this morning. To be honest, not a lot of people stop by to take a look at it. So I figured if they want to see it, I'll break it out. But again, this is for SO2, NOx, CO, CO2, total hydrocarbons, ozone, etc. We also do, as Walt mentioned earlier, we do a NOx with an O2, which is a Servomex paramagnetic sensor, built in right into the unit. And we do that with our NOx analyzer or our CO analyzer. As far as the ambient world goes, they're all FRM, FEM designated. So they can be used for the EPA. And there's much of the unit has common electronics across it. So again, spare parts are a little easier to get, although we'll discuss that situation in a couple of minutes. But the electronics are common through all the units. Obviously, we do a lot of service. As Walt said this morning, they are our number one. For you, if you're customers of CiSCO, they should be your first contact as far as needing service and spare parts. Go to them. They're basically an authorized service house for us. They can get all the spare parts. They can do the work. If it's something that they can't do, can't figure out, whatever, then it can be sent back to us, and we'll do the work on it. But when a new unit is purchased, we offer a 2-year warranty, and then it's available in multi-year terms. So if somebody wants it, and we do have people who want 3, 4, and 5 years, we'll do something special for them on an extended warranty. We do all the preventative maintenance. Depot repair, again, go to CiSCO first, but if it's something that can't be done and it's out of warranty, we charge a fixed rate charge to get the unit back up and running. And then we also pride ourselves on technical training, which again, Walt talked about earlier. We're coming out here in November. And actually, I didn't know that because I don't handle all the training schedules. So I'm glad to hear it. But we've been doing a lot of training now that things are opening up again based on, because of the COVID situation. So we're really getting out there and pushing the training, and that's going really well. So I'm glad to hear that we're going to be coming out here and training the CiSCO guys. Okay. One of the things I wanted to mention, which I already did actually, is the end of life for the I series. Some people may need a discontinuation notice if they want to put something into their budgets and their bosses are asking them for it. If you need a discontinuation letter, just let me know, let Walt know, and I can get that out to you. And it'll have all the dates of when everything has been started, the discontinuation. We actually when we discontinued this back in 17, we're offering 8 years of obsolescence. So giving people enough time to get it in their budget and to continue to run those I-Series units for a long period of time before they have to change them out. The big thing that everybody's dealing with, and everybody's basically talked about it, is supply chain issues. And we're the same way. Presently, I actually got some good news this morning. I think we're down to 15 weeks. So things seem to be 2 weeks, but seem to be clearing up a little bit. The talk was that we would clear our backlog logjam by mid Q4. If it is cleared up by the end of Q4, I'd be surprised. So I would expect it actually to be cleared up in the first part of next year. That's what we're hoping for. But it all depends on these supply chain, which is killing everybody at this point. We have had some missed deliveries, basically because of supply chain issues. But I just want everybody to know, and I know I talk to Walt and his people all the time. We're doing everything we can possibly do to ship ASAP and get those delivery dates down. Our standard delivery is 4 to 5 weeks, so going out to 15 to 17 weeks is hurting us. So we're doing all we can. The other thing that we've run across with recently, I shouldn't say recently, it's probably within the past year, is if we've had some quality issues, and this has been a big problem. And I know Ray in the back could probably speak to that, and some of the other guys. But we have had some board issues, or what we felt were board issues. Some board failures. We've had automatic reboots for no reason, and some other issues. And we've just released, and I'm going to say it's about 2 weeks ago, our next or our new software version 14. And we have engineering working through design review. What we thought were board issues actually turned out to be a firmware problem, software problem. So they've gone through it. We've done extensive engineering on this, extensive design research, and they found that these issues were being caused by the firmware. So just got our first feedback this morning, and Ray, your customer at Athens, got a good feedback from what's his name, Eric, I think. Yeah, he rebooted everything, got the new firmware in, and he said everything seems to be running great. So we're putting a lot of stock in that new firmware version, that's going to resolve the issues that we've been having. So we're real happy about that. We spent a lot of time and money for the last year on that. And my next slide, I'll show you where we're at as far as that goes. But as I said, engineering is working through the design review, and they're working with our suppliers. Again, if you want to talk a little bit more about this afterwards, feel free to reach out to me, and I can put you in touch with our product line manager if necessary, if you have some more in-depth questions. As I mentioned earlier, I'm in sales. I'm not a technical guy. So if there are some technical questions at the end here and I can't answer them, or I can always get you an answer or put you in touch with the right person. They also, after their study, they found that 70%, or excuse me, 30% were not instrument issues. Basically, pilot error, misshipments on our part, etc. And they're expecting this to get resolved also. As I mentioned, we've put a lot of time and effort into resolving these issues. Now, we actually in January started an IQ initiative. Okay, and the purpose was to improve the quality of our IQ gas analyzers. Many of you guys that have been in this industry know that, you know, Thermo, and I showed it earlier, we've been in this business a long time. We have a pretty good reputation. So these problems that we were having were really hitting home and actually wasn't making management happy, wasn't making us happy, and of course wasn't making the customers happy. So as I said, we put a lot of time and effort into this. We wanted to reduce our overall complaints. And then the big one was restore customer confidence. So in January, they started a steering team, and this went all the way up the ladder to our division leadership. And they came up with a 3-phase approach, which they estimate this completion by April of next year, by first quarter. The first phase, which was just released, this firmware release was just, as I said, about 2 weeks ago, and it's addressed all of our top complaints. Again, you can go on our website. If you have analyzers that you're having problems with, I know Alvaro, you might have some issues at Calpine. I don't know if they've been resolved or not, but if you go online, under thermofisher.com, search for whatever analyzer you're looking to repair, whether it's a NOx 42 IQ or CO 48 IQ, and you go in there, you can upload the new firmware revision right from the website. And then phase 2 and 3, as I mentioned before, will address over 70% of our customer complaints. And then if you have any feedback, we'd love to hear from you. You can contact myself. And again, on the next page, I have other people. You can contact all of us to get some feedback and let us know how things are working out, or if you're having any other issues, any other problems. Again, if you're having issues, the first contact should be CiSCO. And you can reach out to me. Tech support is great. We have 2 guys in tech support. Many of you may know Steve Shivers and Dave Sherwin. I don't know if those names mean anything to you, but they've both been doing tech support for us for over 20 years. Very well known in the industry, and really sharp guys, so very helpful. You can always reach out to tech support. And then if you want to go a little higher, I can put you in touch with our product line manager, Stacy Bashline. And Stacy's been with us about a year and has done a fantastic job of taking the bull by the horns for this situation and these problems that we've had. And I believe she's worked closely with Samit of CiSCO. And I know she may have worked with Alvaro too. But she's really done a great job, and she's very responsive to your questions and to your issues, and doing all we can to get these things resolved. So as I said, I'm not going to go into real technical stuff because, first of all, that's above me, but I really just wanted to face the issues of our parts delays and delivery issues. So with that being said, anybody has any questions that I can help out with? Anything? Nothing? Nice. I don't know if that's good or bad. All right.